Those are secrets. Underlying energy is the Eight of Swords. Underneath that is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Underneath that's the Queen of Cups. Then you have the King of Cups come out earlier. Okay. I do feel like you guys are definitely working very hard on your relationship, but I feel like you kind of feel trapped in your thoughts right now. Really trapped in the fact that you don't really know what to do with what, you know, with the relationships that, you know, the relationship that you're in right now. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing this again. It's like super cricket. It's bugging me. Okay. It's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that, but okay. Looks better. Anyway. But yeah, it looks like you guys are feeling really trapped in your thoughts, not really sure where to go next. To be honest with you, it almost feels like you guys are kind of like, you know, obviously scrambling around trying to figure out how to continue working on this relationship, even though you're still very much in love with this person. Now, the situation that lies here is regarding, obviously, where you're going to take the relationship, how are you going to move forward, what are you going to do to progress it. But the Nine of Wands is what's kind of keeping you guys from being able to make the decision. Two of Wands, making a decision about where you want to take the relationship, because there's obviously some decisions that you have to make. And then you have the Nine of Wands. It's defensiveness, kind of building up a wall, kind of keeping things out. You know what I mean? And then regarding that, you guys are kind of clamming up in the same way. Like, not only have you guys completely like felt, you guys can feel completely trapped in your thoughts, that is reflecting you externally. So you're not showing what's going on. You're not sure what to do. Therefore, you're showing that. Because now look, High Priestess and the Moon. These two here, those are secrets. Those are things that are not kept. You know, those are things that are, you know, hidden from people. This isn't a lie, but it's definitely just not, somebody is not aware or not opening up on purpose. There's some sort of secret. Again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think someone's just keeping it to themselves for some reason. Okay. Now, in the past, you have the High Priestess, which to me indicates following your intuition. You know what I'm saying? Following into it, but you knew something here. I feel like in the past you were more receptive more than anything. More receptive, more passive, in the sense of like you're not really doing much, not going out of your way to do anything. You know what I mean? Just not, you know, just this is literally being the Emperor. That's a doing, and I feel like this is more of like a being situation. You're kind of just observing, getting information. You know, just being very much in your emotions. Okay. In your present though, you have the Hermit, which indicates to me that there is some sort of like soul searching, especially when it comes to figuring out what it is that your ideal lover is. I think figuring out what it is that you feel or what you want, I feel like that's what you're doing right now. You're trying to figure out how you feel, because right now all you feel is trapped, and it's like that's not necessarily a feeling. It's more of like you know, this is a situation that you're going through right now. It's like, why do you feel trapped? You know, I guess because the Hermit will go in and figure out what's going on. And I feel like right now there's like you're going through a soul searching sort of thing where you're trying to figure out who your ideal lover is, or, you know, what kind of relationship you want to be in, as well as how do you feel. Okay, because right now you got the walls up, everybody's super defensive right now. You are defensive right now, and it's just like it's hard to make a decision about where you want to go like that. And sure, it can make sense why the moon is in the future. It's not saying, there's no expectation, there's no idea of what the future has to hold, and it comes from a place of not really knowing where you are right now, right? You're trapped and you don't really see where you are. You know what I mean? You don't know where you are right now, and it's like it could be frustrating. So considering that you have the Nine of Wands there, it's like it's understandable. Like you're still going through things. And honestly, you still have to figure out where you guys are trying to even get to, let alone why you feel trapped. It's almost like you guys have been working so hard of trying to make this relationship work. You don't really you don't know whether you're in or you're out. You don't know whether this is something that's going to work or not. You don't even know if you really want to be in that situation anymore. It's just a lot going on. Now, in your goal and ambition, you have the Devil. And that just indicates to me that this is like you guys are trying to overcome some sort of, obviously, a feeling of not having a lot of power or a lot of options, a lot of capabilities to do certain things in your life. I feel like that's what's going on. Because honestly, right now, you guys don't feel like you have any options. You feel like there's only one way or the highway. Or there's two decisions here. And it's like, and that's the thing. You don't really know if you either one of these options are appealing to you, I think. Because look at this devil. Because the devil and the Eight of Swords together, that's total trapped. Like, you feel totally trapped. And remember, guys, the Eight of Swords is a construct that's made up in your mind. Nothing's actually keeping you from doing anything. The devil's very much the same way. Nothing's actually keeping you bound. Nothing's actually keeping you stuck. I do feel like you may have a karmic connection with somebody, but I do not think that you are actually trapped where you are. You always have a choice, and the thing is that you have to see that choice. It's the hard part, to see that choice, and I feel like that's why you're going within, to find the strength that you need to make that choice, to do what you want to do, and not feel like you don't have any options, to feel empowered again. That's what the devil shows up for me. I think you guys really want to feel more empowered and you want to feel more in control of your life, which is understandable, but you have to do it with fearlessness, okay? Nine Wands can indicate too that you guys are really feeling like throwing in the towel and just giving up, because the situation is just feeling like there is no options. There are no other ways to do things, right? There are other options and other decisions to make. You can't move forward anymore, but at the same time, it's like, why change course? Why are we doing all this? And it's like, well, it's probably because the situation where you're in right now, what situation you're in right now is not working. So you do have to kind of go within. So you do have to kind of find your strength to push forward. Find what you need within yourself to make this, to get out of your situation, to not feel stuck. And the Knight of Cups here, I feel like definitely figuring out what it is that you truly desire. What is it that you want? Just kind of just being in the constant awareness of what you want. Now, in your outcome, you have the Page of Wands, okay? And the Page of Wands is, you know, it's communication. I always see it as like as actions, but, you know, more so than words. But it still can be like, it still can be a message word wise. Something very passionate, lighthearted, very fun, exciting, adventurous. You know, it's small though. It's nothing huge. And I do feel like there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, especially considering that you're dealing with a lot of darkness. Right? Feeling trapped. You know, keeper of secrets, going within, and the moon. The unknown's future. And I feel like right now you do have to just kind of listen to what your heart's trying to say to you, because right now there is no real direction, no avenue in which you can feel comfortable going in until you find what you need to find within. Let's go ahead and take a look at your romance angels. Get to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond strengthens. Okay. Wow. Okay. And that pretty much talks about, I mean, everything is looking like very introspection. Very introspection. So getting to know each other would help, perhaps. But getting to know yourself is the bigger picture. Is the bigger picture, rather. Is the biggest thing that I would say is most important. Because of course, when you're dating somebody, yes, you have to get to know that person. But getting to know yourself is way more important before you get to know someone else. Because how are you going to even, you know if this is someone that you like or not, without actually having an idea of what it is that you have, about what you want? Knight of Cups. Know what you want first, guys. Look within yourself and be secure in what your heart's desire is, and then you'll be damn sure to find that, the path out of a situation in which you feel like you're trapped in. Okay. Now you guys have this. We are all connected, and challenge your perspective. Interesting. Obviously, the Hermit will definitely talk about challenging your perspective. And we are all connected is a very interesting card. It talks about the soul collective and how we all are going through certain similar things, different challenges, perhaps, but similar things, right? And that no matter what the difference is, we're still going through stuff together. And the situation reminds me really about the devil. It really reminds me of the devil, rather, not about the devil. And the reason why is because obviously, like, right, you have these two people, well, they're weirdos here, attached to each other with chains around their neck, just chilling with the devil. And it's saying that whatever you guys have going on with someone else, this karmic connection that you're in, yeah, you are connected with this person. What you guys do within that connection is up to you, whether it's to stay and remain trapped or it's to find your light. Okay, so yeah, we are connected is definitely a good card right here, but it's to recognize your own individual situation, because no matter how connected you guys are, you still have your own karmic stories to live out, and this person may be a part of that karmic story to help you play through it, but other than that, this is your story to live. And challenging your perspective has a lot to do with the Hermit, especially, and the Moon, because these two here, especially, it requires you to look within and pushes you to go a certain direction in an area where you're not sure where it's going to lead you, right? The Moon, you don't know where that's going, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to know where it's going. All you need to know is where you are at the moment and what you're trying to get to and what you're doing to get there. Okay, and I feel like the Moon is unsure because you're not sure. Until you're sure about where you're going, I don't think that you're going to be interacting with the Moon. I feel like you may end up facing a lot of fears and maybe facing a lot of secrets that you've been keeping to yourself, and honestly having to kind of, you know, go through them all. I feel like maybe the direction in which you're having to choose has to do with fears, you know. But I think that ultimately challenging your perspective will open your mind to other possibilities, to different options, and you won't feel so trapped in your thoughts.